It was actually 364 days ago that we did this for the first time, when we actually opened the Heritage Centre for the first time. So it's a fantastic thrill for us to, 1 year on, to be into our third exhibition, and something over 7,000 visitors since that time, which is fantastic. When we tell other small museums how many visitors we've had in, they're quite jealous. But I think it's partly because of the exhibition. It's partly because we're in an interesting place and we're in an interesting location, aren't we? You'll notice somebody not at my side. I took Sue to hospital this afternoon, and on the way, she said, I just need to drop some stuff off at the charity shop. So we went to the charity shop, and then I took her into the ward, and within about 5 minutes she had the life story of the nurse, and she was handing out Transport Day flyers to the staff. So she's fine, she's in good shape. She just needs to get this done, and then all will be great, but it's just not great timing from her point of view. This is mainly a series of thank yous, but before I do that, I'd just like to say that we've lived in Lymm for 25 years, and when I moved here, I never dreamt for 1 minute that I or we would be doing something like this. But a place like Lymm sort of catches you, doesn't it? You know, and the more that you stay, the more that you discover, and the more that it interests and fascinates you. And I just saw ways that we could express it. And fortunately found a group of people who felt the same, who've come together as a team. And I think we're still, you know, we're a very young organisation, 12 months in. We're not experienced at this, but we're really, I think, beginning to get there. And we're creating what I hope will become an essential part of the fabric of the village, really, that tells the village's story. This week in particular has been fantastic, because there have been so many people competing for this space. For 4 days, we have children coming in from 6 different schools. That's 250 kids, all coming in to learn about the canal history of the village. They're going on the working boats, they're doing activities. At the same time, Colin and Janet in the background are pushing stuff out, bringing it back, pushing stuff out, bringing it back, gradually assembling this fantastic exhibition. In the meantime, there's a lady who's trying to run yoga classes who's tearing her hair out, because every time she comes in, she doesn't know what she's going to find next. But I'm sure we'll be able to keep her on side. So to the thank yous. One of the thank yous is on my left there, which is Howard Platt. I keep thanking him, but without his help and without his initial support, this project couldn't possibly have happened. It was Howard who bought this building and who also paid for the conversion of the building and has given us a tenancy which is and a lease which is extremely generous and has made the project possible. So we will continue to thank him for that. I mentioned the team that we brought together, and our team is I'm not quite sure where it starts and ends. There's sort of a core team of management people, and there's a few people that actually don't like being on management committees, but they actually do quite a lot in the background, and that's fine too. There's about 10 or 12 of us that are really committed. There's always space for more and room for more. We have 2,000 followers on Facebook. I had a goodwill message from a guy in the Blue Mountains of Australia this morning on the opening of the exhibition, so that's great. But we've got plenty of memory on there, Gary. So I just want to give a special mention to one person from the team, which is Alan Taylor. As you go around these exhibitions, you'll see a lot of Alan's work. It was Alan's foresight in taking photographs of this village 60 years ago, like this huge one at the front, that's given us a view of Lymm that doesn't exist anywhere else, you know, and so it's fantastic that he has created that. I mentioned Colin and Janet. Last weekend, I was really beginning to wonder how this was ever going to happen, because I thought, they're coming back from the Far East on Monday. They're going to be absolutely zonked. If they start on Wednesday, how are we possibly going to do this? Because they're also getting the art exhibition ready. They came back, I think it was on the Sunday morning, wasn't it? They said, we've just been in the coffee house, we've had a cup of coffee, and then we're going to have a look and we'll get started. And they have been so patient and so creative. When they arrived, this lady, bless her, was about 6'6" tall and looked very Debenhams. They whipped her legs off and completely redressed her into a sort of fantastic, actually authentic figure. The costumes were made especially for us by a canal crafts company up in Burscough. They've also just they just have a flair and a way of laying things out, and have put in an enormous amount of time. We can clap everybody at once at the end. Mary Trotter might not be here. Mary has been managing, as she has done every year, the schools programme that's been going on this week, which has been terrific. These we're very excited about, the boats. If you open the drawers, there's a story about every boat. And the story behind getting the boats was that we went down to the boat museum and said, do you have anything at all, maybe in storage, that we could use? And oh, well, we've got a boat called the Lymm, if that's any use. Also the Duchess Countess, which was the original, which was the last packet boat. And then this last one, which is a traditional 6-plank coal carrier. We thought, well, okay, it came through Lymm. And then we discovered that actually the family that owned it lived in Utrington. So there were 3 great Lymm-related stories. We've got a fantastic interactive map that we've blown up from a map that Norman Banner donated to us. We've also been working closely with the Daniel Adamson Society, and they approached us and said they would like to use some of our space, and we thought it was a great opportunity to combine Lymm's story of the ship canal with the story of one boat that operated on there. So that's been terrific. I hope you will also admire one of the things we've tried to do right from the beginning is to do things as professionally as we can. Just because we're volunteers, it doesn't mean we don't do it well. And I think you'll agree that the graphic panels and the way it's all presented have been fantastic. That is due to our graphic designer, Tris Rossin. I'm sure he'll give you his business card if you're interested in having any work done. Tris is the only sort of professional member of the team, but I also feel he's a sort of a committed team member. He grew up in Lymm, he went to Lymm High School, and he's as enthusiastic as the rest of us about the project. Finally, I thank, though they're not here, the Heritage Lottery Fund. If we hadn't had the contributions from the Heritage Lottery Fund, none of this would be possible. We've still got a long way to go. You will still be amazed at what's going to come in the next 12 months, I promise you. It's just going to go from strength to strength. Come back in the summer holidays and be terrified by the Cairo theorem. If you couldn't work out what the dinosaur's footprint was all about, then we will explain all in a few weeks' time. So that's just a little tickler for you. Finally, I'd like to thank, we have several distinguished visitors really, but I'd like to thank the Mayor of Warrington for joining us. I think you'd come to the Food Fest originally, didn't like to come in here. But we had also invited our new Chair of Parish Council, Anna Fradgley, to formally open the event for us. So let's just have a round of applause for all the people that come. Over to you.
Yes. Shall I say a few words? Yeah, okay. Just to say, well done to everybody that has taken the time to do this. Not only in the last year, but before setting all the Heritage Centre up. I think it's fabulous, absolutely brilliant. And it's a real asset to our village, the fact that we've actually got this Heritage Centre, and we should have a Heritage Centre because, well, we are a heritage village. So it's absolutely brilliant. So well done to the team, and well done for this current exhibition. I'm absolutely amazed that Alan has actually taken, Alan Taylor that is, has taken all these fabulous photos for the last 60 years. Should I have said that? 60 years. I think it's, yes, as you said, Alan, it's wonderful foresight, and we now get the pleasure of looking at all these fabulous photos and comparing how it was before to how it is now. So I'd like to say, and I would also like to welcome our Mayor to reiterate that. So thank you for coming here to do this for us. But I now declare this new exhibition about the Bridgewater Canal and the Manchester Ship Canal open.